Chrome and ChromeOS 103. They both rolled out in the last 2 days, and not like super stunning, fireworks features, but there's a lot to unpack in all of the updates. So
yeah, especially like ChromeOS 103 has some stuff arriving that heck we've been talking about since January. CES, they had some announcements about better together and stuff. That it is stuff that we've been tracking for a long time, and so sometimes it can feel like, oh, it's here, whatever.
Yeah,
we talked about this before, but for the general consumer who has a Chromebook, who may peruse an article every once in a while and be like, oh, that thing's coming, then they just kind of move on and forget about it.
Yeah.
I even do that to an extent. Like, I'm like, oh, that thing's coming, cool, that'll be neat. And then I move on and kind of don't really think about it. And all of a sudden they're like, hey, it's coming.
And
it's
a lot of consumers may not. We tend to forget that a good majority of people don't sit and read tech news that much.
No.
My wife could care less.
Like, is it
She's
on my
not
device?
stupid. She's very computer savvy, but she does not sit around and follow tech news. Most people only want to hear about stuff when it arrives,
or if they need help with something.
Yeah. So Chrome for desktop, iOS, and Android all rolled out Tuesday, and then ChromeOS 103 should be rolling out anytime now. I haven't looked to see if it is updated. But Screencast, is it official now?
Yep. So Screencast, and we'll talk about each one of these real quick. But Screencast, nearby sharing, Wi-Fi credentials, fast pairing, and then
that one's cool because I've never been able to get that one to work. I'm always in Canary. I'm on 105 now, and that one's never worked for me. But one thing I've learned is that especially when it comes to sharing and security features, they're often nerfed in Canary because there's no reason in hardening the security of a channel that most people shouldn't be in the first place.
Right, and you have to be in developer mode too, right? For that, so you've already unsecured your device to begin with. So
I'm vulnerable.
Yeah. So I get those kind of features either not being in Canary or being just broken so that they're not usable. But yeah, so the first one, it's the one I'm probably most excited about, is the recent photos from your phone.
Yeah.
I think that's just going to be a nice workflow thing. So the idea being, I take my phone, snap a photo of Paul there, the plant, and I get the photo, and I want to use it in a social media post, or I want to use it in an article or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to pop up in my what is the phone thing? Phone hub.
Phone hub. Yeah.
At the bottom right hand, I'm like, is it
Hub? Just remember, Google likes hubs: personalization hub, privacy hub, phone
like
hubs.
HubSpot.
That's different.
And so you'll be able to just, I'm assuming it'll work just like the tote, the recent files area.
Yeah, works. I think it shows 3 or 4 of your most recent.
And you just be able to grab it and drag it into things.
And that's what's cool, because I remember when we discovered it and we started writing about it, like, and at first in my mind, I'm like, how lazy have we become? Because Google Photos is pert near instantaneous,
and that's basically what I use.
Yeah, that's what I do. Nearby share has gotten really, really good.
It's also an option.
You can nearby, but when you're talking, and this is weird because I'm trying to teach my kids patience, because children have no patience. They want everything, and we live in a society of microwave everything. We want it done now. There are times when that's not good, but there are times when it's really good, and this may seem trivial, but to be able to snap a photo, this is just our use case. I'm sure there are countless other use cases. To be able to snap a photo for a featured image and it's instantaneously available.
Yep.
It just the 2 or 3 or 4 steps it takes to navigate to Google Photos or to go to your phone and nearby share to yourself, that time, over time, saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
To me, it's a big deal, even though it seems like it's kind of trivial.
And there's lots of work being done to get like a lot of the Google Photos editing stuff in on the local media app.
Yep. So you have the Google Photos edit button in there now if you have Android apps enabled, which whatever.
Yeah, and so I've not actually messed with it. So does it open the Android Google Photos app?
Yes. No, you have to have the Google Photos. It won't even show up unless you have Android apps enabled. So
yeah, and that's the only part of the workflow that I'm like, I don't. It's going to come in handy for certain things, and it's not going to be handy for other things. Like, it's just going to depend. Like, if I'm in the middle of a conversation, for instance, on WhatsApp or in Discord on my Chromebook, it's not like that's not real time on my phone. But if I take a picture on my phone, now I've got to go open the app, even though I'm already in the chat up here. I'm gonna have to open the app here, get to that particular chat, hit the plus button, find that photo, click it, and share it. Versus snap, drag, done. Like I could see that working really in all kinds of ways, because in my head, if I'm taking a photo I'm going to use for a featured image, I'm probably going to edit that photo in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to, like in Google Photos for me, generally I just hit the enhance button and let it kind of do its thing. And so it's like I could do that on my phone. That'll be interesting to see what it does with that, because my guess is it's going to show you the camera roll. And when you edit in Google Photos,
it is camera roll.
You're editing. I don't know. Maybe if you save, I'm not sure how that works now that I think about it. When you make an edit to a Google photo and save it as a copy, does it save a local version of that, or does it just save it?
I don't think so. If you're doing it in Google Photos, I think it just saves it to Google Photos.
So that probably won't show in your camera roll. No. So it's going to be unedited photos only. So I'm like,
we can try it later.
Then I'm going to have to. But if you're someone who likes to do more manual edits, and you edit in Lightroom or something like that, this makes for a great productivity saver.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a cool. What is Tote? I'm sitting here thinking about, what is Tote actually called? They call it. Is it just recent files or something? They call it something.
The official name is Tote, but
is that what they call it? I thought that was the development name. I get mixed up.
No, because I remember the press release they called it the Tote.
What was it called in the? I'm trying to remember what it was called in the in development when it was getting made. It had another name, but whatever. So I use Tote constantly. So I'll save an image, or I'll take a screen grab, for instance, of like a commit, and it drops it down. You see it pop over there in Tote. I'm in the article I'm in. I just go over there, grab it, drag it into the article. Boom! It uploads the photo for me into the website.
Right.
And so if it works like that, I would be super excited.
Yeah, because I'll usually if I'm taking one just so I can drag it into something, it's super easy to drag it into Squoosh. You just drag it right into Squoosh and squish it down. Are you looking up Tote over there? Because now I'm all curious.
I'm trying to.
I'm trying to find it.
I thought Tote was the development name, but now I may be getting backwards.
Holding Space.
Holding Space is what it was called in development.
Yes.
And then they came out with Tote. Okay.
Maybe.
I got backwards. Holding Space. I'm glad they didn't go with that. That'd be a terrible name.
It's like Holding
I think
Cell.
it is.
Yeah, the flag was Holding Space in progress.
They should have
downloads integration.
Holding Hub. It's a hub.
My whole hub. Oh, gosh.
All right. So the next thing, Fast Pair. So it's not just like Fast Pair has worked on and off in different versions of Chrome. When you turn the flag on and turn it off, like it has been around for a little while, if I remember correctly. Like we're seeing like Fast Pair kind of working on and off for. I feel like it's been 6 months to a year.
I feel like it was definitely last year sometime, because we've been talking about it for over a year.
Yeah, because it came out on Android, and it was like, oh, it's gonna be out on ChromeOS like immediately, and it just wasn't, and it kind of worked, and then it didn't, but the idea of Fast Pair, and Apple, anybody that uses Apple products will hear this and just be like, yeah. I mean, of course it does, because Apple products have done this really well for quite some time.
He's dying of it. He's got something to say.
Where, you pair your earbuds, they got to be AirPods, obviously, but you pair your Apple audio accessory, and, it's now available on all your Apple devices, because at the end of the day, you pick up that device, and it's MAC address and everything, the Bluetooth ID, and those are not changing. So if you sync that information across the account, as soon as any device that you're signed into sees that particular piece of hardware, it should be able to just pair with it.
Yeah, and no knock against Google, because they're, but at the same time, they're the king of sync. Everything is about account syncing. Yeah. This should have been. My guess. And granted, if it works really well, then great, because there are things that Google swings and misses on, and then there are things like Nearby Share that.
They wait, and then when it's done, they roll it out, and it's awesome.
Flipping phenomenal. Nearby Share is incredible.
And so I'm hoping that's the case with Fast Pair. Like, I've only really used Fast Pair on, like, I only carry one Android device at a time. So it's not like I have an Android tablet and, an Android, I don't know what else, carried around that my earbuds are going to move between. Like,
right.
I just have the one phone. And so getting Fast Pair working properly on my Google account between my phone and my Chromebook is going to be a big deal.
That's the only thing that matters to me. Yeah.
To know that my guess is, and it says coming soon, it says later this summer, hopefully their aim is to make
Hardware,
sure
right?
it's done before the Pixel Buds Pro come out. So the idea being, I get my Pixel Buds.
Yeah,
because it's
end of
late
next
July.
month. Yeah,
I get my Pixel Buds Pro out. I flip them open. My Chromebook and my phone see them for fast pair. I choose my Chromebook. I pair it up and get it all done, and then I should be able to immediately just switch to them on my phone. That's
Right.
the idea. It's
Yeah.
it's your account level carrying of these hardware things. I don't know what other devices. They said there's like over 100, I think, earphones that technically have the fast pair stuff in them to be able to be used this way. And so as long as the hardware meets the spec, fast pairing should start working across Chromebooks and Android devices. And again, it's nothing on the surface. It's going to be like, oh, well, yeah, it's faster to pair them. And that's neat. I like that. I like not having to hold the button, wait for the light, and do all that kind of stuff. That's nice. But the better part is, ideally, if I sign into another Chromebook, which I sign into lots of Chromebooks, so for me, this sounds great. Once it gets up and running and it's all connected, just like my Wi-Fi networks, that it knows all of those, it should know all my Bluetooth accessories too. And I should just be able to flip that thing open. And yes, I would like to go ahead and connect to those and not have to repair them to all of my devices.
And that's exactly how it should work, because it's gotten to the point now where everything kind of centers around the phone for me. If I get on a Wi-Fi with my phone, but then I go back to that place with my Chromebook knows it. You know, I don't have to put that in, and that's.
I think I tested that one time. I think it works the other way too. If you forget a Wi-Fi network on your phone and you establish that connection on your Chromebook, your phone will eventually pick it up as well.
I believe that because I continue to forget the other network here, and it continues to find it again. So I guess I need to forget it on
the phone.
It's so annoying.
So yeah, that plays into, since we're kind of talking about Wi-Fi connections and stuff. Nearby Share is gaining the ability to basically allow you to nearby share Wi-Fi credentials to other devices. So, like if you're setting up a new Chromebook, or you're somebody like we just talked about, Wi-Fi gets saved on your accounts. But if you happen to go to, say, somebody's house, or you're meeting somebody at a coffee shop they go to all the time, and you're like, hey, what's the Wi-Fi password? I don't remember. There's a big long line up there. They'll be able to actually nearby share you the Wi-Fi stuff. Boom, share it over to your Chromebook, you accept it, and you're online. Which I don't know how often that'll get used, but it's a cool idea. Or if you're at home, so you invite a guest over and they need to get on the Wi-Fi. I can't tell you how many times, like I know my Wi-Fi password. I know exactly what it is, but I go to other people's houses and I'm like, hey, what's your Wi-Fi password? And they're like, my parents are like this. They'll change it or whatever. My dad's like, let's see. And then he's going to look for his little piece of paper or this note he kept his Wi-Fi password in I think like in a contact at one point in time on his phone.
It's better. My mother-in-law is a note writer, so she'll just scribble on stuff. So if you go to her house, there's notes just everywhere, and you'll see like an old letter or something, and it's laying on the counter.
A little note on there.
The password, like that's the password to your T-Mobile account. Okay, all right. So I thought you could do that from Android. Am I wrong? Or is it just a Pixel thing? I have shared...
Pixel, I think you can share it like with a QR code, I think.
Yeah, because I remember looking up my mother-in-law's password on the Pixel 6 through the settings. But there's a share option too.
So here we go.
Let's check this out.
Let's see. So you can share, and it's...
But what option?
I think it just gives you a
QR code nearby.
Oh, there you go.
What does that do if you try to
I'm guessing that's going to be on Chromebooks now, too.
Yes.
So I can nearby share, and then the Chromebook can understand this, or maybe it already works.
Click it. Let's see what... Yeah, so it says devices sharing.
Yeah, so I'm going to click send it to you and see what happens.
I'm already connected to that Wi-Fi, but it connected to that Wi-Fi and said connecting.
We'll get off here. We may try to do it on a Chromebook
because it's trying to autofill. So it's just going to work the other direction. So that's cool.
Yeah. And again, it could be already, like Google does this sometimes. They'll announce new stuff that started working like 3 weeks ago because it might have been a server-side kind of update. And it's part of this new update. They're just bringing, shedding light on it because it's the same thing they're doing with the Screencast app. Like we've already talked extensively about it, what it does, but they're rolling that into this update and like, hey, we want you to remember this is part of it, and I think it's going to be widely available now for everybody.
Is the Selfie Cam going to be in there?
Selfie Cam.
With the screen. This is for the screencast.
Screencast thing. Yeah, that's part of the screencast.
Okay, because I've got it enabled on my device with the flag, but I haven't checked lately to see if it's working without. But surely they're rolling it out with that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing with these announcements is that this stuff probably is built into 103, or they expect it to come at some point in the next 4 weeks. It may all roll out now. Some of it may roll out, but the fact that they announced, for instance, the fast pair stuff and said it's coming soon, like there's no need for them. If it's just not going to work in 103, we only have 4 weeks to 104, so there's no need for them to have put it in there. So I would assume it will show up in the next 4 weeks. Yeah. So I think they want to have it, for instance, again before the Pixel Buds Pro come out. So, that's. To me, that's the most notable update we've had in a little while.
Yeah.
As far as like it's not new features we've never heard of. I don't think, as long as we keep digging and other news outlets keep digging around for new stuff that's coming, and there's beta and canary channels and developer channels of ChromeOS, I feel like we're never going to get to the point where like I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, we're not going to have some huge announcement of a feature that's live now,
right?
That
someone's going to stumble across.
Otherwise, we're not doing our jobs.
Enough people are looking. So, but I mean, like I've never actually seen the photo. The recent photos thing ever working. We've had flags and stuff for it. Have you seen that?
I've had it on when I was still driving the Pixel. It worked in Canary.
Oh, okay.
But it's not working. Like I can set my phone up on Phone Hub right now. It won't show up. It's weird.
And I've seen fast pair stuff working intermittently.
Sort of, yeah.
And it works to get it paired up to the Chromebook, but then it's like, okay, my want for it was always, okay, I can fast pair these Pixel Buds. We have the Pixel Buds A I'll use to test. Fast pair them there, my phone should have these now.
Right.
And it's never worked that way. So I'm hoping that works. The nearby share thing is whatever. But like Screencast rolling out, like we've messed with it in full. We've done a whole video about it.
And I will say it's cool to see them rolling it out now because it's not been a thing for that long.
No,
I mean, they've been working on it for a long time, but it was just discovered a few months ago. Usually features this robust are months and months in development, and I'm sure they're trying to get it ready for the school year because as much as I wanted this to be for like streaming and stuff like that, it's not. This is geared towards schools and businesses and stuff like that, and that's fine. It's a great productivity tool.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. We really do. If you don't mind, go down there, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure and subscribe if you haven't already. We're doing an awesome giveaway once we hit 10,000 subscribers on the main podcast channel. And while you're down there, don't forget to click the bell as well to be alerted when we make new videos just like this one. See ya.